So it is now just days after the Philadelphia Eagles destroyed the Washington Commanders by a score of 24-8 in Carson Wentz's first game versus his old team. But this game was not about Carson Wentz at all. It was really about the Philadelphia Eagles showing what they can do early on in this NFL season, as they did also in those first two games versus the Detroit Lions and versus the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, both wins as well, as the Philadelphia Eagles are currently the only undefeated remaining team in the NFL after the Miami Dolphins lost last night. Prayers up to Tua, by the way. But the Eagles have really shown over these first 3 weeks that they could really potentially be a contender in the NFC. It's not just speculating anymore. The Eagles have put on film what they are capable of, and now it's just a matter of continuing to do that. Coming into this season, it looked as if the Eagles were going to be vastly improved, but a lot of people did not think they were going to be true contenders because of their quarterback. A lot of people thought that Jalen Hurts would hold them back. And really, this was a prove-it year for Jalen Hurts. If he played well, he would stay, and if he didn't play well enough, he would go. Well, over the first 3 weeks of this season, Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate so far. He might even be leading the race. Now, obviously, there's Lamar Jackson there who's playing phenomenal as well, but Jalen Hurts is right there as well. And to add on to that, Jalen Hurts has recently been named NFC Offensive Player of the Month. So yeah, he's been playing pretty good. And he has put up some impressive numbers in the early part of the season. Just some examples here. Jalen Hurts is the first player in NFL history to average 300 passing yards per game and 50 rush yards per game in the first 3 games of the season. Jalen Hurts also leads the NFL in yards per completion and yards per attempt. He also has the most yards of any Eagles quarterback through the first 3 games of the season ever. He also ranks 3rd in the NFL in passing yards. He's 5th in passer rating, and he's also 5th in total touchdowns as well. And his only turnover is an interception which went off the hands of Kenneth Gainwell, and wasn't really his fault. It was kind of just a weird play. But he has not turned the ball over pretty much at all this entire season so far. And he's also 9th in completion percentage. Jalen Hurts is having a historic season so far with the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's looking like he could potentially be their future franchise quarterback if he continues to keep this impressive play up. And he's also helping the offense to be one of the best in the league. This offense is. They can run the ball with their dominant offensive line and good running backs. Miles Sanders has been very good in these first 3 games. Last season, their running game was dominant and the best in the league. But the question was their passing game. This season, they have one of the best passing offenses in the NFL. Obviously, I just rattled off all those impressive Jalen Hurts stats, but their pass catchers are so good as well. A.J. Brown, obviously, coming over from the Tennessee Titans. Devonta Smith had just an amazing game versus the Commanders. Probably a career game. 8 catches, 169 yards, and a touchdown. And then you obviously have players like Dallas Goedert, who's also been very, very productive. You have Quez Watkins, who can be a deep threat slot guy. The entire offense looks like one of the best in the league so far. And that's just one side of the ball. We got to talk about the defense, which has been absolutely dominant. Might even be the best in the league over these past 2 weeks. Versus the Minnesota Vikings in Week 2 on Monday night, they picked Kirk Cousins off 3 times. 2 of them were Darius Slay and 1 was Avonte Maddox. And they consistently were able to get to Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins was absolutely horrendous in that game. And Justin Jefferson got locked up by Darius Slay as well. The Eagles were able to create turnovers and create havoc in that game, and they carried that performance over into last week versus the Washington Commanders and Carson Wentz, where they sacked the former Eagles QB 9 times. That's the most of any NFL team this season, and that's the most times Carson Wentz has ever been sacked in his entire career. And they also forced 2 fumbles, recovering one of them, creating another turnover there. This Philadelphia Eagles defense has been absolutely lights out, with Jonathan Gannon making adjustments since Week 1. Obviously, Week 1, their performance was lackluster, and I made a whole video explaining my concerns with the Eagles defense, and they have shut me up over these past 2 weeks. They've made all the adjustments that I wanted them to make. And I'm just so happy with this entire Philadelphia Eagles team right now. On that defense, they've been able to get so much more pressure than they have in the past. They got Haason Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Javon Hargrave, all these guys flying around making plays. On the back end, you have Darius Slay, James Bradberry, Maddox. You got CJ Gardner-Johnson, Marcus Epps making plays in the improved linebacking core as well. It is just an absolute amazing time to be an Eagles fan right now. Just after winning the Super Bowl 4 short years ago, we'll be 5 in February, the Philadelphia Eagles are looking like they could make it back to the Super Bowl if they continue to dominate like they have in these first 3 weeks of the season. Now, obviously, it's only been 3 games, and this may just be an overreaction, but I gotta come on here and talk about how good my team has been And you can't deny the things that the Philadelphia Eagles have put on tape so far this season. They look amazing. They really do. They look like one of the best teams in the NFC. They look like the best team in the NFC right now. A lot of the teams from last year's NFC playoff picture, including the Super Bowl champions, LA Rams, have been struggling so far to start this season. It's still early, but the Philadelphia Eagles really do look like the best team in the conference. And now all we have to do is ask ourselves this question: can the Philadelphia Eagles keep this impressive play up? Because if they continue to do that, they might be actual Super Bowl contenders this season, and that's far ahead of schedule, because I remember a short time ago, just after the 2020 season where the Eagles were 4-11-1, people were saying that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to be headed into a long-term 5+ year rebuild, and look where we are now. Howie Roseman has absolutely maneuvered his way, gotten all these pieces, gotten additional draft picks. They've built through the draft, built through free agency, made some incredible trades. They have young talent, they have good veterans on the team. This team is amazing, and Howie Roseman deserves so much credit for that, and I think I need to give him a formal apology for the stuff I used to say about him. And I want to say, Mr. GM, Howie Roseman, I'm sorry. And the Philadelphia Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFL right now because of you, so thank you. And that's pretty much all I got for this video, guys. So if you did enjoy, drop a like on this video to help push it out to other people, and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this, covering the Eagles, covering the NFL, covering the Philadelphia 76ers. Their season's going to be starting soon. We'll be doing a ton of videos on them. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. With that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this video. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.